What's up everyone, B the Installer here. This is not a giant TV, it's an awesome e-bike from Magicycle. They had some other bikes last year that they sent us. Fantastic bikes, super powerful. Everybody likes the power that they have, but this year they have a couple of added features that I really wanted. I actually helped them with a couple. I'm gonna explain to you some of those things on the ride. Let's get going. All right, so we're on our way to one of our favorite trails here where we're gonna check out how these bikes handle, but big fan of the new style. So a couple of things I wanna talk about. First of all, this is a 52 volt, 20 amp battery in this thing. So a lot of the other ones are 48 volt. I think there's a little extra power in these 52 volt. I've seen other people say that as well. And then you have a 750 watt motor. It says up to 1100 peak wattage. It says 900 max when you pedal on here, so I'm not really sure exactly how that works, but plenty of power, trust me, that wouldn't be an issue at all with these bikes. You have 7 different pedal assists, so you can change those as you go up. You can change the amount of voltage that you want to get on each pedal assist, but I think that gives you a lot of opportunity to do a lot of the work or make it do most of the work for you. All I know is that if you want it to, it can do all the work and make biking a lot easier. Then I can tell you about 2 of the 3 major changes on these bikes, which is 1, it has rear suspension. So now you have a hydraulic front fork and you have a soft tail, which is absolutely awesome, especially since we ride these on the trails often. And secondly, we also have hydraulic brakes, which is huge for these big 80-pound bikes. Because when you're riding fast, using these mechanical brakes were just, I don't know, they just weren't as good. I just feel like it wasn't as a premium of an option as you should have on this nice of a bike. And so now having these hydraulic brakes, I mean, you can basically stop on a dime. Much better than before. And then the third thing that I hadn't talked about, but you probably already saw, is they have a fresh new design, new paint. They look really awesome, available in different colors. I really like this yellow color here with the matte finish. They also have a green and a gray. So if you want to go a little bit more matte and not stand out, you can get the gray, but the green and the yellow, both fantastic colors. And all of them have like a refreshed design with the new Magicycle logo. The batteries are a little different. They kind of pop out of the frame. Just all kinds of cool upgrades on this bike. And all those features sounds awesome, but we're just sitting here on the pavement where it's probably not very noticeable. So let's go off-roading, check it out, and then I'll tell you how the features actually work. All right, so I'm riding on the new Magicycle Deer e-bike. Pretty awesome bike. We got 2 different styles. One is a step through, one's a step over. We actually got the step through on accident. It said step over on the picture, but the picture and the actual words were not lined up properly. So just double check when you get it. I thought that the step through would be more of like a lady's bike, but actually I really liked it. I actually paid for the step through, which is gonna be my son's. It's really awesome. And obviously it's dirtier because we've ridden that around. It's been raining like crazy in San Diego. So we feel like we're getting a great experience about what these bikes can handle. Now, this one has a 750 watt, 96 Newton meter high powered motor, and it is very high powered. It comes with a 52 volt, 20 amp LG battery, which lasts forever. I've literally never run it out of charge. Maybe we should do something like that. It says it can get over 80 miles of charge depending upon your weight and where you're going and all those things. It says it can go up to 28 miles per hour, but I mean, we've gotten it over 30. You can go into the menu and set the voltage and speed limits and all that. So it's a pretty fast bike and has tons of power. I did talk to them last year about giving it a new paint job, maybe changing the logo to give it a little upgrade, distinct, cool looking style versus looking more like a rental bike, which people had always asked me, where did I rent those bikes? These ones, I don't think they're gonna ask that. They look really cool. Jen's a Steeler fan, so They're pretty awesome. Had to get the yellow. But enough of the features. I want to get out here and ride a little bit more on these trails, but stick around. I'm going to explain all the benefits after this ride. All right, so a bunch of things I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about the power of these bikes. We just came up this incline here. I know it's always hard to kind of see on camera what you think that, how steep that is, but it's pretty steep, and this bike just flew right up it. I mean, it has the 7 different gears, so you can put it in a low gear and, crank up the hill pretty easily. 7 different pedal assists, so you also got the throttle here. So between all those things, getting over the mud, through the waterfall, and then just cranking it up the hill, the bike didn't even have a challenge. It got me right up to the top here. We have gone on some steeper inclines that are a little bit more challenging, but I mean, I have never been able to get up those on any other e-bikes. This thing is just an absolute beast. Then you have the full suspension, which is a huge benefit. Before, when we went over big bumps, I'd have to stand up and make sure you don't get knocked off the bike. But with the full suspension, I can sit down over all these huge rocks. I just cruise right over them, you don't even feel it. And since it's raining in San Diego so often, you can see there's puddles and little waterfalls and everything. But these motors are actually waterproof, so it's not really a concern to go through the water. We went through about a foot of water over the bridge there because everything's so flooded here. And again, I have no concerns about any of that. You have the nice mud flaps on the front and the back to protect you. Yeah, your feet get a little wet, but overall, I mean, this is actually the first time I've taken the step over out, and it's already getting dirty, but we'll get back, we'll wash it off. No harm done. So you can tell that I like this bike, but the proof's in the pudding. We need to get up that hill. It's pretty steep, a lot of rocks, definitely something fun for a full suspension bike. So let's get up that hill, and I'm gonna give you guys some buying advice of what I think this bike is worth versus some of the other bikes out there. So let's get up there. You ready? Okay, there is one thing. If you try to go up these hills and the bike turns off, you got no shot. These bikes weigh 80 pounds, so obviously heavier than a mountain bike, but you know what? I got the throttle, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that was fun going up that hill. That's more indicative of what we do when we ride through these hills. I mean, everywhere in this park, we can just go up and down these hills with ease. I thought it was pretty difficult, but then I watched Eric go in front of me, and he's got one hand on the bike and one hand on a camera. So it just goes to show how much power there are in these Magicycle bikes. And this new Deere with the full suspension, the hydraulic brakes, all the stuff that I've talked about makes it even better. So when I was actually looking into getting an e-bike, I went into some of the stores, and you wouldn't believe how expensive they can be at stores. Some of the bikes were over $10,000 for something very similar to this. Some of them didn't even have the fat tires. That's something you may want or you may not want, but this bike is actually like $2,500 on the website right now. And if you use my code, you get even more of a discount. And they're fantastic with regards to customer service, with communication. And I even had my parents out here recently, and they were riding these bikes, and they found them so easy to ride that they actually bought 2 of them from Magicycle. So again, yes, they actually sent me this bike to try out and test, but I actually bought 3 more of the Magicycle bikes for family because they're really awesome. And with this new design and style, I feel like it looks more like what you'd find in a store in the US versus something that you'd rent on the beach. So this is a high performance e-bike with all the different features that I went over. I highly recommend it. I mean, you can actually get 2 of them online for somewhere in the $3,500 range or $4,000, depending on what kind you need. If you need a regular cruiser or like the Ocelot Pro, which my wife has, which is a little bit smaller because she's only 5 feet tall, and these 80-pound, big bikes are just a little bit too big for, smaller people or kids. But they have all kinds of different e-bikes, and I really appreciate all the nice craftsmanship that they have on this. I do feel like this is a premium bike. So I think you get the point. I really like this bike. I am actually gonna make another video about the Ocelot Pro on my other channel, Be the Consumer, so check that one out. And then I'm gonna make a video about all the different Magicycle bikes that I've tested and maybe even compare it to some other ones. But for now, check out this link here for the Magicycle Cruiser, and I'll see you guys in the next video.